Hello, so I have been giving a couple of interviews this year in January and February, and I got offers from two of the companies, and the for the role is Java backend. So I was getting a lot of requests for making videos talking about the interview processes, the preparation strategies, all those stuffs. So the for the two offers that I got, the strategies are a bit different. Even the interview processes were very completely different. So in this video we'll talk about the company that I have joined, that is Harness, its interview process, and it was a bit more exhausting as compared to the other one. And the other one we will talk in the next upcoming, which is a continuous video, which will be a continuation for this video. Okay, so let us start about Harness. So in Harness I had interviewed for software engineer 2 role, which requires an experience of at least 1+ years, and maybe around like 3 years you will be interviewed for this role. Okay, and if you are above 3.5 years experience, you will be even interviewed for senior software engineer, that is a higher role. So talking about the software engineer 2 role, it had 6 interviews for me, and especially it will be around like 5 interviews for me. Why this had happened, I'll tell you going further. So I applied through one of my friend, that I took referral from him, and I applied the next day itself. The day I applied, I didn't get any call, but the next day itself I got the call, because that time the requirement was there for the role that I had applied. Okay, I didn't have to even mention which role I'm applying for. They will actually call me based on where I am getting shortlisted. So my first round got scheduled within a week. The complete process took around like maybe 1 month, because I got a lot of time in between as well. There were the requirement changes as well in between, so that's why the process took a lot of time. But for my friend, he also joined just a month ago. For him it took only maybe 1 week. So that time there was a very urgent requirement, but for me that time when I applied, the requirement was not that urgent, so it took around like 1 month. And the first round happened within a week, and it was a problem solving and coding round. I'll just open my notes so I don't forget the specifically what was called, was the question and all those stuffs. So yeah, the first round was mentioned to be a problem solving and coding round, and it was scheduled for 1 hour. And I got like around 2 questions, and it was basically for me what helped was I was continuously working on the lead code mock assessments, which will basically contain easy, medium, even hard questions. It will be random set of questions, and it helps a lot. So I have been preparing with the mock assessments at least maybe 2 or 3 weeks till by the time I was having the first round. So I got a lot of time, and I was continuously preparing, and I was not working at that time, so it helped me to prepare more. So I'll suggest that you should also start at least doing some mock assessments once or twice or thrice a week. It will help you a lot for especially in the DSA rounds. So this were like 2 questions were there, and that was medium level questions only, which was very similar to the lead code. And the topic I will specifically tell you, it was one was related to stack, and another one was related to binary tree. And the binary tree question was specifically from lead code only. I had prepared that before as well. I had done that in one of the assessment, so it was not a problem for me. So in the second round, so after this had happened, you will get a feedback also. After each round, your recruiter will call you and will tell you how it went, what is the feedback. And each round is an elimination round, so be prepared very well from the starting of the interview itself. So I got a positive feedback from this round. Then the next round was this was also all of my rounds were online only, but for some people they are even taking offline rounds, like you have to go to the office and then the interview happens face to face. So online means over Zoom call, and they will be using for coding, they will be using CoderPad or any IDEs, all those stuff. So the next round was an LLD round. It also got scheduled within 1 week, and in this LLD round I was asked a LLD question that was like stock exchange system. So here, like, it's you have to keep in mind you are having only 1 hour, right? So you have to the interview will be interviewer will expect something from you, like whether you should start from the scratch, like the models, all those parts, and then you, when you come to the service or some other layer you are talking about. Here, see, we are talking about in the Spring Boot, based on Spring Boot. Okay, so for me it was a Java backend role, so I had to basically work with Spring Boot. They are using that as the tech stack, so yeah, it is expected and to work on that itself. So, and here they can ask you, like, all the models, everything you have to specify, and maybe they will ask one of the particular uh, like logic you will add in a particular method. Like, you will be talking about the broadly what all things you will be doing. You will be talking, you will not be writing or something, you will not be drawing, you will not be, yeah, sometimes even draw.io will be used, but in this case for me there was no drawing or all those stuffs. Just we had to talk on what is going through our mind, what is the thing that we are designing, all those stuffs, every low level aspects of that. And they can ask you, like, specifically in this particular logic what you will be doing, so that can be asked, and you have to answer very clearly, that people, the interviewer should understand what you are thinking on your mind, and you should not be silent. That is very important. You should talk whatever is coming through your brain. That is important. And for me, for this particular round, what helped me was a lot was the practices I done for the mock interviews. Through, there is a YouTube channel called Concept and Coding. They provide very good LLD concepts and all mock interviews as well, and they have a lot of previous very common LLD questions. You can just prepare all those, and you will get a very good idea. They have even shared the GitLab repositories corresponding to each problem, and you just try to implement it on your own in your local, and it can help you a lot. So that was done. I got a positive feedback for that, and then comes the third round. So here again I had a problem solving and coding round. This was for the team to which I was actually interviewing for. So here, speaking of which, I was now, till now it's not the team, the person, people who are from the team, they are not interviewing you, but from now on, the to which team you are going to, and which team is the team that is having a vacancy for which you are interviewing, right? So senior software engineers from those, all those people will be now interviewing. So in the third round, it was again a coding round, coding and problem solving round, and also I had 2 coding questions, but also I had a couple of Java concept questions were also asked. This is also for looking the team fitness, like whether I am perfectly fit for the role or not. So Java concept questions, basically the core Java concepts, like even one of the question I remember is about garbage collection, filters, a lot of stuff. You just have to go through the Java concepts very well. And 2 coding questions were not that tough. I remember it was something related to map and all, and mostly either DP were asked, tree were asked, or maps were asked, strings, all this stuff comes in picture, and all. I didn't have to do anything other than the lead code mock assessment. That was enough for me, because already prior to this, I am not a fresher. I have 2.56 years experience, and prior to this, maybe before, I had done a couple of DSA in my life. So for me, just lead code mock assessment was enough, but maybe that is not the case for everyone. Okay, depends upon where you are in your expertise in the coding. Okay, programming basically. Then in the fourth, I had a fourth round, which was a managerial round again, and that was also the same manager who will be my manager in the company. Okay, he's the manager right now. So the same guy in the same team, same manager, took a manager round for me, and this included basically everything from the resume. Like, he will be looking into every single thing that you have mentioned in your resume, and they will be making you dive deep into each of the thing that you have mentioned. For example, I was recently, for the last 6 months, I have been working on the cloud security side. Okay, I was a backend developer in the cloud security side. So they were asking me like all this manager had asked me all the kind of security that you will be adding in your Spring Boot application, all those stuffs, and what was the project that you were working on, and how did that because I was doing that for because my previous company was a product based company and we were doing that for IoT devices. So how that was done, how what was the steps followed, and all those steps, and how do you handle even managerial questions as well, like how do you manage a very complex design problem, or like is talk about any problems that you have faced. All those things will be asked. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the fifth okay, now I had the fifth round, and here what happened is they wanted to access me with a very senior he was a principal software engineer, and he was located in the US. He is one of the core guy of our team. Okay, so this fifth round was again a coding and LLD round with that senior engineer. He is, we can say, he is the godfather of the product that we are currently developing, or the teams, the project, the product. He is the godfather of the product. He know everything, so he can access me more well whether I am correctly fit for this particular role or not. So this fifth round was again a coding and LLD round. I was asked I was asked two coding questions, which was again medium level questions, and one LLD question was also there. And it was not a 1 hour interview. Till now everything was a 1 hour interview, but this was around I think it got maybe 1.5 hours were there, because LLD question was like design lift. That was the LLD question. So it took a lot of time, because two coding questions along with the LLD, because LLD itself at least take 1 hour. So right, so that was it. And I got a pretty good feedback, very positive feedback from this guy, from this person as well, this interviewer as well. So again, now the recruiter calls me, and I was already told this is my last interview. Okay, but again the recruiter comes and tell me I will be having a sixth interview as well, because they added one more process into the interview cycle, that is the cross team validation. Because right now we were having the people were validating me for this role from the same team. Right now one more round from us, in which a principal software engineer, which is a very senior guy from other team, will be interviewing me for whether I am fit for this team. Another team person will be checking. So that is called cross team validation. So this new process were added, and unfortunately it happened just at the time I was interviewing. So I had a sixth round. In that again I was asked, it was again a coding, and as well it didn't have any. So this round was specifically for checking the critical thinking and problem solving capabilities. This was what was told to me, like how good my brain functions whenever I'm put with a very complex task. Okay, so why they are checking all this? Because this is a very fast growing startup, so they want people to be very voracious at doing things and learning things, all those stuff. So that's why this particular round exists. And he was and the round was very similar to what happens in the Google's coding rounds, like Google's interviews. How what it is like, they will start with a simple more lot more easier problem solving question, and it was I think map and string related some question. And once you implement that, you write the code, you run the test cases, all those stuff. It was in CoderPad, I remember some of the coding platform IDE only. And once that is done, they will change the requirement and make it more complex, and tell you how will ask you how you will improve. Then you will improve and you will give him this approach. Then again he will ask, okay, now let us that is done. Then in the third, again there will be a third session, like now he is changing the requirement to do this more, and how I am again updating my existing logic to be to give the best optimized solution for the next new requirement. So that is how they were judging my critical thinking ability. And because I was at that time, I was already interviewing with Google's, and its third round was already done, and I was already aware of, okay, this kind of questions. I think so, it was some of an NP heart problem or something, I don't remember exactly. But yeah, initially the start was very easy question, and I thought, oh yeah, it's very easy. But again, it started getting more complex, and I think it took around like 1.5 hour to complete. And just that's it. So sixth round was complete, and by the end of so that round happened early in the morning, like 7 a.m. Because see, all the senior software engineers are told, the principal engineers, they are all sitting in the US, so they will be interviewing you from according to like their evening, and it will be like sometimes our morning. We can even ask them if you are not comfortable. I was comfortable for that time. So my interview got finished around like 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. and I got the for positive feedback by like 10:30 a.m. and I got the offer letter by like 11:30 a.m. So that was it. So yeah, so I'll tell you the main important things that to be done for this particular interview is that first one is, you should be like, basically this is a software development company, and it's a product based company, software products, okay, there is no hardware products involved. So if you are there are a lot of people who ask me like whether for DSA is important or not, for experienced people DSA is important or not. See, even for 4 years, even my friends who are like 4.5 years experience, they are also still giving the DSA rounds. It's not that DSA rounds are not there, okay, even for experienced people DSA rounds are there. So, and also 90% of the companies that I have interviewed with within this two time, January and February, I think I have given interviews around 8 companies maybe. All of these companies, I have been applying for Java backend role basically, or full stack role. I was asked the DSA questions for 99%. Only one company which didn't ask, I will tell you that later on. So yeah, DSA is very important, and lead code mock assessment can help you very very well. And if you are not comfortable with all the DSA, you need to first be ready with that. By maybe you can even follow the lead code itself, or maybe GFG interview bit, any of that. I have used that earlier in my life. So second thing is LLD. Preparing for LLD is very important. There are a lot of websites where you can learn LLDs as well, and there are paid sources as well. I didn't use any paid courses. So I have been using YouTube basically, and there are a lot of YouTube channels which are very good at explaining a lot of concepts related to LLDs, and also giving solving the problems which are actually asked in the LLD rounds. So one of them I told you already, the concept and coding. You can go through that. Maybe he teaches in Hindi. Maybe that can be a little difficult for people like us, like the South Indians. But still, it's very good if you can follow him. And yeah, that's it. So, and systematically you have to prepare, and don't think that it's a recession time and you don't get to call all those stuff. But and also referral is very important. So these are the things that you can take care, and you can definitely get an offer. Thank you.